Welcome back to Big Moves, Bigger Conversations. I'm your host, Sascha. Today in the studio, we have Reggie Stewart. Reggie Stewart is someone who is leading in the music industry as a music executive, focusing on signing new talent and really curating events as a host and dynamic leader. Atlanta is the definition of culture, and Reggie is standing in the middle of that, building a career that cuts through the noise with credibility, consistency, and impact. In today's conversation, we are talking all about his journey in the music industry, the lessons he's learned along the way, and what is the reality behind being a music executive. I'm excited for the conversation. I know he's excited for the conversation. Join us for the next episode of Big Moves, Bigger Conversations. Reggie Stewart.
What's up, boo?
How excited are you to be in studio with Big Moves, Bigger Conversations?
I mean, the pleasure's all mine. I'm so happy to be here. I'm glad you thought of me. Thank you so much.
Of course, Reggie. I love all things. And you know, you and I connected through a mutual friend.
Yes.
And so we're going to stop yelling, no new friends.
Right. New friends is important.
New friends are important. And so I appreciate you giving us your time, coming out today. And I think it'll be a really fruitful conversation.
I agree.
Around your career, around what it looks like to have a career that is prospering in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Which is a thing in itself. I think Atlanta is such an interesting place, by far really dynamic,
yes,
as far as how everyone feels like they're a celebrity.
Right.
Right?
Unfortunately. And they did nothing.
And so we want to sort of, at least today, demystify a lot around what people deem a celebrity, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're someone who is on a day-to-day basis making moves in the industry. And I don't know that you're someone that feeds off of the notoriety of it all. It feels like it's very authentic in the way in which you interact with people. And I don't think you lead with what you do.
Never.
Yeah.
You can't get wrapped up in this.
No, because it's temporary.
Exactly.
Okay. When people think about music executives, they often picture like the spotlight. Mm-hmm. What does the day-to-day reality of your role really look like, and what part of that would most people be surprised when it comes to the grind?
It's so funny that you start with the misconception because, like you said, most people think that it's lights, camera, action, glitz and glam. I'm around celebrities, I'm at parties, I'm at events, I'm out, I'm moving and shaking. And yeah, that is a part of the job, but at the end of the day, they forget that it's a real job.
Right.
You know, they don't see the part when I'm in the office or when I'm planning a show and the show is 14 hours, or when I'm trying to sign a client or a new affiliate or this new up and coming rapper and I'm running to the studio or I'm running to a video shoot or I'm doing a meeting or I'm trying to wrap up this deal and I'm on 10 phone calls and negotiating. You know what I'm saying? They don't see, the inside things. They just see, the fruits of my labor.
Yeah.
So that's always been a misconception. You know?
And you're focused primarily, like we should provide the audience a little bit of background, right? Of who you are, because I know why you're on Big Moves, Bigger Conversations. But we want to make sure that people have perspective as to your background. And again, we're not really focused on who you work for, where you work. It's more so what has been your experience.
Yeah. So I'm a music exec. I work for a performance rights organization, BMI, and we pay royalties to our affiliates, whether they are songwriters, composers, producers, for their musical works in radio, TV, film, and streaming. So, yeah.
And you've been doing that for how long?
November will be 12 years. I moved from LA. I started as an intern. I worked my way up, which a lot of people nowadays don't value work ethic, but it was a big part of my journey. So I'm climbing up the corporate ladder. Yeah.
Climbing. And I love that you didn't put a period there, right? Yeah. There's something that you're still evolving. There's a process. I want to go back to your internship because I know Reggie current day.
Right.
I don't know intern Reggie.
It's always been me, though. It's always been me.
You've always known that you wanted to have a career in the music industry, specifically the music.
Yes.
And when you started out as an intern, give us some perspective what it looked like back then.
So this was, like you said, I've always known that I want to have a career in music.
Yeah.
I used to, like, I grew up listening to, everybody. Like my mom, she was so influential in my life with music, from Tupac to Jay-Z, Biggie, Little Kim, Mary J. Blige, Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle. I had a plethora of music, and it's just always been a soundtrack of my life. I always could relate a certain song to a certain period of my life.
Beautiful.
And then when I got maybe 13, I started writing music.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started reading on but I always knew I wanted to be an exec. That
Okay.
was the difference.
Okay.
I knew, although I started writing, I knew I didn't want to be like a rapper or a singer or a celebrity or a producer. I knew I wanted to be a boss, because I knew the boss had control.
Yeah.
I knew that everybody that was in creative, they had to answer to somebody. I want to be the shot caller.
Yeah.
Shot caller. That's always been my thing. And so I studied the greats. Like I read, Diddy's book. I read on Jimmy Iovine. I read Jay-Z. I read on Richard Branson, who's the owner of Virgin. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I read on I knew who everybody was. Like Clive Davis, everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, I got the knowledge, and I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to be the ones to put people in position, to give them deals, and, you know what I'm saying, blow up their careers. So it was always a thing. And I would pivot sometimes, as a kid. I tried everything, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was the beautiful thing about me, to make sure this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I was like, I tried photography. I was like, nah, this is not it. I tried DJing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's fun, because it was still some aspect of music,
Yes.
but I don't really have a hand, and my hand and mind coordination not really there.
I've seen you dance.
I can dance. No, I can dance. Oh, I can boogie. But when it came to DJing, it was like, nah, that ain't it. And then I used to play the drums when I was in middle school. So I did a lot of stuff to figure out what it was that I really want to do. And music always circled back to music.
I think one thing that's interesting, and actually that I'm learning now, is when you listed out the individuals the impact around the music, you named a lot of significant Black women.
Yeah.
How have Black women played into your life?
This is so crazy that you asked me this, because I literally was telling one of my friends now, who's my mentor, we're super close. I just met her a year and a half ago, but I was telling her that women have been the soundtrack to my success. It's always been a powerful leading Black woman, starting from my mom, in school, all my teachers that I looked up to. I probably had 2 teachers in my life, from elementary all the way through college. It was probably 2 males that I looked up to.
Yeah.
When I started working, even in college, my career counselor, she was a woman.
Yeah.
Then when I started working, I looked up to a woman, and then my first job in the industry, it was through a woman.
Yeah.
And then BMI came through a powerful Black woman, and now the person in my life now that's kind of guiding me is another powerful woman. So it's always been women.
Yeah. And here on Big Moves, Bigger Conversations, the host is a woman.
Woman, exactly. Yeah, see?
I love that. So earlier on, you mentioned a soundtrack to your life. If you had to do a soundtrack for where you are currently, what song is that?
Oh, that's hard.
Is it hard?
That's hard.
I know you're all things current music, so maybe not for the last decade, but if you had to say, this is where I'm at right now, what song would that be?
Oh,
okay, well,
probably Life's Good, Future and Drake and them. Life's Good, it's good.
I was gonna say mine is.
What?
I was talking about eating.
Ain't it?
But you know why?
Pluto. No, the YK.
I never know artists. But why? Because I'm in it. When it comes to this podcast, I'm doubling down. I'm thinking all things. What is next, and how do I evolve in it? And it is, for whatever reason, it's not really an inspiration, right? It's a ratchet song, but I love it because it says everything to me around stay focused, stay in your grind, which is what you highlighted, right? And double down on it. And so I'm excited about that aspect. I feel so we've given, I guess, perspective around your start.
Right.
The precursor, right? Reggie, now, again, with Atlanta sort of being the highlight of your career trajectory, where are you in your career?
I am, I started with my company 12 years ago, and I started as an intern.
Yep.
And then I went from an intern to executive assistant to associate director to director, and now I am working and hustling to make my next move. So hopefully soon I'll be back and we can celebrate my next career promotion.
And what will that promotion look like? Because we don't want to dive into it yet. We don't want to, but like, what do you envision that day to day looking like? That's different than what you're doing currently.
If you want to be honest, I already got the job description and I'm already doing everything but one thing on there.
Okay.
So I just need them to, meet me where I'm at already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that.
I was told that you don't get rewarded for doing the things you're supposed
Correct.
to do. Your paycheck is your reward. So, if you want to be rewarded, you have to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
And it's been instilled in my head my whole career. So I've always pushed the envelope.
Do you think, and I don't know if you've ever had, I've never looked at the music industry being like corporate America, but do you consider it corporate America?
I work for a corporate company.
I feel like, well, yes, it's a corporation, but I guess I didn't have perspective if the politics were the same.
Absolutely. They're probably worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I didn't realize that it was a lot of politics.
Yeah.
It's like anything else in life. That's why I'll be like, people look at my life and they see, the glitz and glamour, and they see, the fun, but it's a lot of politics.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, shit I have to deal with,
In Atlanta, how often are you the only in the room, if at all?
Not often.
Okay,
because Atlanta is a hub for collaboration and community. So thank God I'm not the only. I don't want to be the only one in the room.
No, absolutely.
If I'm the only one in the room, then it's a big problem in our society still.
Yeah.
So thank God in Atlanta, and me not being the only one in the room, I get to network, I get to meet people, I get to, break bread, and that's how opportunities come about. So in Atlanta, it's not like that.
Yeah.
But it's so funny that you mentioned that, because I was just in LA and I was talking to one of my friends that I came up with, and she's struggling out there, but she don't want to come to Atlanta because she says it's too black.
Yeah.
So I had to explain to her the same reason that you don't want to come will be the same reason that you would thrive.
Love that. Yeah. And so maybe this is an education piece for me. When I think of corporate America, I think of being the only, right? And hence why it doesn't necessarily always feel like a place I want to be. It's at least what I'm hearing is it sounds like you actually enjoy what you do.
Absolutely. I wouldn't do it if I didn't.
Yeah.
I would have been gone a long time ago. I love it. Like it was like I remember when I didn't enjoy certain jobs and stuff. So this is something like, this is my longest tenure.
Yeah.
And it's just
I love that you said I would enjoy it if I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. No, I would be
The only thing I've been enjoying is big moves, bigger cars.
Exactly, but that's why you started. Some people don't even start.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's been a lot of things that my career has been able to afford me that I've been able to do outside of my career. You know what I'm saying? Like I do speaking, I do a lot of speaking. I like public speaking. Yeah. So I do a lot of speaking engagements, and I do a lot of events, like event planning and stuff. So my career is not one-sided. It's really multi-dimensional. And I have the fluidity to do kind of, what I want as it makes sense to,
growing
my
your
job
brand.
description. Yeah. So
I wanted to kind of double click into something else you said. In a city where everyone claims to be somebody, how do you separate what's real from the noise?
Their resume.
Ooh.
Yeah. And what they do.
Go ahead and zoom in on that. The resume. What is your resume?
What's your track record? What you doing? You know what I'm saying? If you're doing something, then the people in my circle or the people that I run with, they're going to know. Somebody's going to know.
You're in proximity with
exactly.
them.
Somebody's going to know in my industry. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't just be, blowing smoke.
Yeah.
That's not how it works over here.
But I feel like that is, again, an Atlanta thing, because I've found from even in my industry, people are very selective with who they lean into. You almost have to be associated with an associate in order for them to trust.
But that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
You never know who's who. You never know what somebody can pour into you. You never know what dots can be connected. Yeah. And when you open your mind to that, that's when you'll thrive.
Yeah. Love that.
I don't connect lateral. I go across, I go down, I go up. Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter.
You're not limited.
Yeah, I'm not limited.
You see potential value.
Exactly.
Love that.
If I see talent, I see talent. If I don't, I don't. It's not because of who you know or who you connected to. You know what I'm saying?
Going back to the talent part, I've asked you a number of times through your DMs. On LinkedIn, I reached out to you.
Did you?
When are you going to switch over to podcasts so that you can help me in my
This is the start.
Okay.
This is the start. When you called, I came.
You did. You did. So, Reggie, going back to the conversation, what's been the toughest decision you've had to make as a leader in this space, and what did it teach you about yourself?
The toughest decision I had to make, hands down, was when I had the call to move, when I decided to move from LA to Atlanta, because it was uncharted territory.
Yeah.
I was a kid, I was 24 when I got my job opportunity, and I was coming from LA. I worked for a small company, and I was hitting the major leagues. It was what I wanted, but it was still scary. And I didn't have nobody here. I had one family member here, so and I had never really been away from home for a long time. So that was my biggest, that was my biggest hurdle. But I tell people all the time, I wouldn't regret it for nothing. And I'm glad I came, because if I didn't, I would always have lived my life thinking what if, and I never want to live with regrets.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a gem in itself, right?
Yeah.
How have you, was there something within you, something that someone said to you that encouraged you to actually make the move?
I don't do anything without my mother's blessings. So yeah, I talked to her, and she was like, do it, because she felt like she didn't have the opportunity to really follow her dreams and do it. So she's like, if it's in you and the opportunity presents itself, she fully supported it. But had she said otherwise, I would have stayed. Like, I just trust her implicitly.
Yeah.
Like, if my mom told me that to jump off the top floor of
you're getting morbid.
Not like that, but I'm just saying, like, if she's like, Reg, jump and I'm gonna save you when you fall, I'm jumping.
Yeah.
Like, with no questions asked.
Yeah. I think
Top of the Empire State Building, I'm jumping.
I think that's beautiful that you have that level, that relationship with her.
Yeah.
I think anytime I've seen someone who has that level of foundation, they show up in the world differently.
Yeah.
Because you have someone that you can trust.
Yeah.
And
that showed you different, Yeah. So.
And what's different for you? If someone is watching this podcast and they wanted to be encouraged to keep going, or they wanted to get that little nugget from Reggie Stewart, what is that nugget?
Keep going. Nothing worth having comes easy, and nothing worth having comes overnight. And just know that you want to be like kids nowadays, and the people coming up nowadays, they want everything so quick.
Yeah.
They think that they can put a podcast up and get 100 million followers. They think that they can do a YouTube or a TikTok and go viral.
Yeah.
They think that they can do this, that, and the other. They think quick, easy. That's not longevity, though.
Yeah.
Getting it quick and easy is a quick and easy way to lose it, too.
Yeah.
I always tell people, you don't want to be like popcorn. You don't want to be put in a microwave and just pop, because popcorn is not satisfying. You eat popcorn and you're going to be hungry again. You want to be like a cake, and you want to be baked fully from the center.
Okay.
Cake going to fulfill you every time.
I'm not a cake kind of girl.
But you want to be, you want to be wholesome. You want to be fulfilled in the center, inside and out, fully baked. And when you're ready, you'll last.
And is this something, you're coming from the perspective of someone new entering and gaining that level of success. Do you find that that's a challenge when you're dealing with your new artist, that that's something that you have to continue to reiterate? Or do you feel like...
Absolutely. They want it, and I get it. They want it because you see certain instances where there's people that have done it, and they were a anomaly.
Yeah.
It was quick and it happened for them. That's not everybody's story.
Correct.
It's 100 million people that it didn't happen for.
Yeah.
They was the 1 in a million. You know what I'm saying? So that's not everybody's story, and you have to realize that. And you have to appreciate your journey. You know what I'm saying? Like everything ain't for everybody. God may be saving you from something. He may be holding you from something. It's gonna get greater later. You know what I'm saying? Like even with me now, like I've never been in a rush, but I'm like, whatever in my life that don't happen, I'm like, it wasn't meant for me.
Yeah.
What's for me is going to always be for me. It's written, So
Yes.
I lead by that, and I'm fine with anything that goes on in my life.
Okay, you're fine with it because you lean into what?
My purpose.
Love that.
Yeah, and my promise.
And your purpose is what?
My purpose is, being a light.
Yeah.
Being a light. Everything I do, I walk in, God's purpose. My prayer is always, God, use me, use this life. And, lead me according to your will and your footsteps. So, for my life. So I walk in that purpose, and, I walk with my head held high. I'm one of them type of people you can't tell too much to. I don't take no from nobody. A no is just another person to me. The no and another person.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
The no
is a no and another person.
Yeah.
All it takes is, and my token to, anybody coming up in any industry, all it takes is one person to see you.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
It took one person to see me and give me a shot, and I slam dunked the damn ball.
Yeah.
And I've been slam dunking ever since.
Yeah.
So you keep grinding. But it took until I found that person or I crossed paths with that person, it took 5 internships.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want nobody to look at my life and see, you know, the outside stuff and see the superficial stuff and think that it came easy.
Correct.
I want everybody to know that I grind, I worked my ass off, I'm still working my ass off, and nothing came easy for me. I don't care how, I make it look easy. You'll never see me sweat. You'll never see the sweat roll off my back, but, I get in the field.
Yeah.
I got it. I didn't get it out the mud. I got it out the quicksand because when I was getting it, I was still being pulled down from life situations. Like I grew up in Compton. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of stuff I seen, a lot of stuff I went through, but I didn't let that stop me.
Yeah.
So you can't let nothing stop you. If you want it, you got to go get it, and you got to be relentless and fearless.
Reggie, the passion I hope is resonating with the folks on the other side, because being in a room, come here. It is powerful, and I think again, you have been. And I can share a little anecdote about how, and I'm not gonna go into details, but I felt like we connected through a mutual friend, fine. Yes. But when I felt like we really sort of matched is when we were in a situation. I was at your house. You have a beautiful, and it was a game night. We had a good time. But I remember how you showed up for me. Yeah. I was in a room with folks that, you know, we were cordial, but it wasn't enough folks that seen it from my perspective. And sometimes people say like, well, Sascha, you have such a strong personality. I love when someone else in that room matches my personality and they're willing to go against the majority. Yeah. And in that moment, I don't even know if I've said that. I don't even know if I like reached out to you afterwards, but I am thankful that you showed up for me. And even if I hadn't said it verbally, like through the fact that we've continued
our friendship
and continue to lean in each other. And again, you showing up for me even today is how I feel like I've shown my appreciation.
Absolutely.
But I want to make sure I say it that I am so appreciative of you.
I see and you. We see each other.
We see each other. I mean, you see the fashions.
Always.
Zoom in.
Yeah.
But like, I love that you are somebody, at least from my perspective, someone who is consistent, who is solid in their foundation, and you don't allow the noise or you know, all of that other things impact how you show up. And so I appreciate that. In speaking of friendship and connectivity, do you ever worry that people are reaching out to you or connecting with you to be in proximity to other celebrities?
But I have a great discernment.
Okay.
I thank God for that. So when I meet somebody, I know what the relationship's going to be. I know what the motives are. I know whether we're going to be friends for these 5 minutes that I'm meeting you or whether it's going to be a long time thing or if it's temporary. And that's another thing I want people to realize, that they think that everybody they come across in their life, whether it's, you know, in love or, you know, even family, some family you have to let go, let's be clear. And friendships, some people are in your life for, you know, a temporary moment. Some people, it may be a little longer, and some people may be a lifetime, but you have to distinguish between the three. Everybody's not meant to be there for a lifetime.
Well, I'm hopeful that as long as this podcast episode is airing, that we are in community. Because I enjoy you, Reggie. I think you are just, I think you have that energy. And so when you share that your purpose is light, I feel it. I feel like you light up a room. I think your energy is magnetic. I think you are somebody that, again, I was intentional about making sure that regardless of who didn't come along on the journey, because I'm very clear when I cut you off, but when...
when you give me the scissors, though. 9 times out of 10, they gave me the scissors.
Oh, I love that.
That's my, like, I always tell people, if you get into it with me, it's something wrong with you. I have all the same friends that I grew up with, like, literally, like, this sounds very, like, you know, arrogant, but I'm never the problem. It's been a proven track record. Everybody that I don't deal with, they've done something to me. And they've done something that was, you know, I couldn't turn back on. I don't play with the loyalty stuff. So once you show me you're disloyal, that's when you're out of my life for good, and you're gonna have to sit on the sidelines and watch.
There's been a couple of really good gems. The one I want to go back to is the no, because the same way that you have that little slogan, I too that says no is every time I get a no, it's a delayed yes. I'm searching for the yes. And I've seen even within my career, within corporate America, being able to share a similar thought process around, I'm not really looking for permission. I'm waiting for someone to see my light. Because I know I'm capable.
That's all it takes.
Even on this podcast, I have a full production team. This is not my way. You understand? I'm working. I'm waiting until someone else sees the potential, the value, right? And sometimes that means you investing in yourself. And when we talk about friendships and what community looks like, it's been my community that's poured into me, those really good friends, who said, think bigger.
Think bigger. Think bigger.
Think bigger.
And if you're not around me telling me that, I don't need you around at all.
Correct. And so just kind of as we're closing out, when you think about those people around you, outside of your mom, who we know continues to advocate for you, who are those other people that are yelling, think bigger?
Oh, God.
In your space?
Literally, Sascha, I'm not even going to lie. I've never really had anybody around me that was telling me to think small. I don't know if it's because I've always, I've been very, intelligent. Like, I went to a math and science high school. You had to be accepted. I had to do a science project. I went to college. Like, I've always been, I've always excelled in my academics. And I've always been, had fortitude, street smart and book smart. I've always, I've always been financially responsible. So I think people have always saw that in me, and literally so many people rooted for me, I can't even pay attention to the people that didn't. So all my friends around me now, they're always they in my corner, whatever I want to do. You know what I'm saying? They support me, whether it's in my career or my entrepreneurship. I had a candle line. I'm finna start a fragrance line.
Love that.
Whatever it is I want to do, they always on board, and they're always willing to help, and we collaborate and we put ideas together. But one of my biggest supporters now is, like I was telling you, one of my newest friends. That's why that no new friends shit, you can't live by that.
No.
I met somebody a year and a half ago. I met them when I was doing a panel. And she's the VP at Warner. Her name is Melita Rice. And we've been inseparable ever since. And she's poured so much into my life. And it's been so organic. You know what I'm saying? She wants nothing from me but to see me win. She's always bringing me in rooms. And it's the most God-sent thing I've had in so long. So yes, people like that, and of course my general circle, the people that I've grown up with for years, they've always wanted to see me win. But that's the newest person, and you don't find that, generosity and that, that type of light and willingness in somebody else. She didn't know me from a can. She knew me from when we spoke on a panel together. That was a high and by thing, but she saw something else in me, and that's another person who I feel like has helped me.
Elevate. Reggie, do you know what she's seen? Your light.
The light.
What a full circle moment. Light, I want to go back to a statement that you made where you said, I'm not sure why, you are covered, right? That's God's blessing that says, I'm allowing you to be protected in a way that you're not dealing with some of the challenges that other people deal with. And that's another way of, you refuse to sit next to me at Elizabeth Baptist Church, but we are in fellowship together.
I don't refuse. You just like to sit in the front. I'm more in the background.
I like to be where the mothers are.
The church mother. And you get there on time. I don't really get to there. I can't be there that early.
Okay, well.
I may still be coming from, late night,
you know that now, hey.
I know, but you still be on time.
Hey, I know.
But the fact is that we're there. It doesn't matter.
That is true.
That's the underlying.
Reggie, you are there in time for the word, but I would like you to get in the front and sit next to the mothers. You ain't coming. I mean, you talk about proximity. I feel covered every week every time I see them hats.
Amen.
All right, we are closing out today's episode, but Reggie, I do want to give you an opportunity for what I like to call a call to action. So this is, what do you wish more people were doing, or what do you wish you saw more of from people?
Compassion. I think that people need to be more compassionate. It's a lot going on in the world. It's a lot going on in the world. People are going through a lot. People dealing with a lot. And you never know what somebody else is going through. So you need to have compassion. And you need to be understanding. And I want a lot of people, the call for help is I want a lot of people to go get help. Literally. No, seriously. Mental help. It's nothing wrong with going to speak to somebody, somebody professional. Don't go, you're talking to your friends, y'all in the same boat. Y'all both crazy. That's not gonna work. You need to go seek professional help. It's nothing wrong with that. I tell people this all the time. The same way that you have to go to the doctor for your physicals and you have to go to the dentist for your annual visits or biannual visits, you have to go to a therapist for your mental health. Your mental health is stronger and the most vulnerable out of all. And people don't understand that. So that's what I want to leave people with, because it's very important.
Love that.
I'm only telling you this because I'm healed now.
Yeah.
The 26-year-old Reg,
yeah.
firecracker.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I'm at this iteration, because being that 26-year-old firecracker. No,
you're still a firework, though.
No, you're a good time. You're a good time. And before we go, Reggie, I have to get this question off. When we think about if you could do a dream project and budget wasn't constrained, what would that project be?
My fragrance line, without a doubt. It's been like in the back of my head for so long, and I just haven't pressed go yet because I feel like I let my career get in the way and all these other things I got going on. But I really think that's what's going to take me out of here. And I feel like also God gives you something. When he gives you a gift, he gives it to you specifically for you to use. And if you don't use it, he'll give it to somebody else. So I don't know when my time is going to run out from me not using it, but I need to get on that.
Yeah.
So that will be the thing for sure.
I love that.
And I'm a fragrance connoisseur, so you know I'm always smelling good.
We're going to come back, and actually, I see in our future you being a sponsor, and all my guests. Are you doing
big sponsor?
Are you gonna
the
do
main one, yeah.
Are you doing a men's
God's
and
gonna
women's?
use me.
Are you doing a men's or women's, or your unisex? What do
I
you
want it
think
to be unisex.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have the name. I have everything envisioned. I just gotta hit the ground. You know what I'm saying? So.
And when you talk about influential women pushing you and thriving, this is me. On the podcast saying I'm going to hold you to that, and I'm going to do an accountability check because I'm excited. I'm leaning into all things fragrances, and so I'm excited for that line.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
I'll make sure you have a bottle.
I hope I'm a model.
Yeah. I need you to spray it on your B-roll, you know? Yeah.
That is today's episode of Big Moves, Bigger Conversations. But before we close out, Reggie, provide your socials or how people can get in contact with you.
I'm pretty much always on Instagram.
Yes.
Reign of Reg, REIGNOFREG. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Big Moves, Bigger Conversations. I'm your host, Sascha.